I literally woke up just a few minutes ago and I saw this poll blog posted just right now, and I am excited because there are a lot of good changes here, or not changes, but like new content that even though I'm not a PvPer, I care about. And let's go ahead and talk about them because I've already read this. Should players be able to own more than one rune pouch? I don't really care about this one. I want to just skip the question because it's like if you're a PVMer, you don't really care about having rune pouches because it's like you keep it on death, right? So like I'm guessing the point of this is so that like if you're a PvPer, you can just take a new rune pouch out of the bank right away instead of having to buy a new one. Well, you're gonna have to buy them anyways. It's just that like you don't have to like spend the time to buy them right after you die or something. And that's interesting. I don't know how it affects PvP though, so I'll leave it up to them to judge. Should players be allowed to own more than one looting bag? Now that's one I like. That one I think should be yes, because even if you don't PvP, looting bags are relevant. Since what you can do is like if you go to a boss where it's like far from a bank or something, you just suicide to the boss with a looting bag full of supplies, and it'll be there for an hour on the ground because the looting bag breaks, but the supplies still fall to the ground. And having more than one looting bag just means that you can like do this process a lot quicker since you don't have to buy the looting bag every time. It's really nice. Should the drop rate of the looting bag scale to the combat level of wilderness NPCs? Looting bags will not become rarer drops as a result of this change. Yeah, sure, why not? Omni runes. We decreased the original price of these runes in the shop and made sure they would be tradable, allowing anyone to use them. So this is just like anything? Oh, anywhere within the wilderness, yeah, that's fine. Who cares? That just helps normal spellbook, right? Like other spellbooks, like Ancients is the big one, where you use stuff like Bloods, Souls. The only spells you use it like elemental runes for are like, well, you use them for everything, but it's like you really only want to use Ice Barrage and maybe Blood Barrage. So it's like it doesn't really matter because you only needed water runes anyways. For standard is where it makes the big difference, and for lunars you pretty much only want to use Vengeance. Leron's keys. I made a Reddit post about this one already in the thread. I asked what the drop rate of it was. Then they're like, "What drop rate do you want it to be?" So I'll basically summarize what I said for you. It's basically like the problem I had with this in warding was that it was so common. Like just using the math, you could see from the warding design block that this would be like extremely common. It would devalue arms to alch price. Now, that kind of avoids the problem if it's added to Laurent's chest as a rare enough drop, and what I responded to Mod Gambit with was the drop rate of the item should be rare enough such that you get it like every 6 to 8 hours, because right now Barrows is a 1 in 17 drop rate for an item. No, you do 17 per hour, and the drop rate for an arms piece, like any arms piece, is like 1 in 138, which will put it at like 8 hours for an arms set piece. And I said that like to be fair, then the drop rate of a Dagon'Hai set piece, like any one piece from the Dagon'Hai set, should take like how many keys you get from 6 hours to 8 hours of doing Wilderness Slayer or whatever, because like more people are doing barrels than doing Slayer, or Wilderness Slayer specifically. So like even if the Dagon'Hai robes are a bit more common, there should still be far less of them coming into the game than arms. So as long as it's like less of them coming to the game than arms, then arms price should be fine. It will obviously like drop a bit because people will sell their arms for Dagon'Hai robes if they can afford them, but that's fine in my opinion, as long as they don't completely lose their value. In the first recolors, it's just recolors. Change the color of a God Sword spec attack animation. I don't get it. Just like 100 points, it's like nothing. I'd do that. I have 100 points sitting around from when I bought a rune pouch and like the what's it called, those bags. Sure, why not? Isn't this Saradomin's sword? Oh, it's like, what is it? It costs 100% energy right now, and they want to change to 60%. I guess that's fine. Like, does anyone really use this spec? I don't know what the accuracy increase right now for the Abyssal Dagger is, but I always thought it was dumb that DDS had a 25% spec attack, but the Abyssal Dagger didn't. So I get that the Abyssal Dagger has better stats too, So it's like, even though it has like 50% special attack instead of 25%, if the Abyssal Dagger had 25% spec attack, the spec attack on the Abyssal Dagger would just be a lot better because, the stats on the Abyssal Dagger are better. I think it's fine though, because claws would still be better, right? Like, I'm pretty sure claws are still better than Abyssal Dagger with 25% spec. Oh, unique loot on bounty crates. Vesta's long, so they want to add Ancient Warriors weapons. Vesta's longsword will have 50% spec attack instead of 25%, which is, good because everyone was complaining about 25% on DMM. An important change to note though, I don't know if this is in DMM or anything else, but if they're added to OSRS, if a player dies with these weapons, then they're like cursed by something. I don't really understand it, but the mechanic is that you pay 1 million coins or else you can't use the weapon you died with again. They added this because it's like it stops people from cashing in by dying on purpose to a friend or an alternate account. That makes sense. That does make sense. My one word though is like back when the Ancient Warriors weapons were first pulled, people didn't like this 1 million coins drop because it's like, how do I explain it? If you fight someone who's using the weapon, then you get less money than fighting someone who's using a whip. So the reward isn't there for the risk of fighting someone who's using one of these weapons, If the Ancient Warriors weapons are added to the game, should they be usable both inside and outside the wilderness, including against NPCs? I don't really. Oh, okay, no. I was about to say I don't understand why they would pull them outside of the wilderness when it's PvP roads, right? You have to use them against PvP roads. I don't know. On one hand, I really like the fact I really liked playing on tournament worlds and using Stadius Warhammer in TOB, but at the same time, it's fucking overpowered. I can't lie, Stadius Warhammer is so overpowered, it's crazy. I'd have to vote no to this as much as I would like it. It's kind of dumb if you actually think about it, just because of Stadius Warhammer. 10 is fine though. If it's only on players, that's fine. Against NPCs, it's kind of dumb though. So, okay, here's how, I'm gonna be honest, here's how I feel about it. Stadius Warhammer and Vesta's Spear. Vesta's Spear and Stadius Warhammer, I don't really care about. Well, I can't say I don't care about it, because I love using Stadius Warhammer in PVM. It's just that, if you actually added them into the game, it would be so unbalanced for PVM that I would not vote yes to letting you use them in PVM. So, for the purpose of PvP, I don't care about the Stadius Warhammer. But Vesta's Spear, the spec attack, it's just damage, area damage, right? I think that should be fine. So, it could be nice for, clans to fight each other. Or, I'll probably vote no to Stadius Warhammer just because I might get specced out by it sometime. But Vesta's Spear spec is just, it's like the Dragon Warhammer spec. Not Dragon Warhammer, the Dragon Two-Hander spec, right? It's it damages everyone around you. So, it's might be good for, some meme training methods where you have spec transfer ults. But other than that, it's whatever. Who gives a shit? I'll probably skip this one. I'll let people who do clan fights decide if they want it or not. Because it's I don't know anything about clan fights. I don't know how good this weapon is. So, yeah. Vesta's longsword is where I'm gonna be a bit selfish and a bit weird about, because it's it's a good KO spec weapon, but at the same time, are people really gonna be using this to KO people who have nothing on them in wilderness? Because these weapons, they degrade, right? It's they're gonna cost a lot of money to use. Do you really want to use these against someone who potentially has nothing? I feel you probably are gonna use these in PvP situations, actual PvP situations, but for just wilderness killing, people will still use stuff like Dragon Dagger. And because of that, I have a really big soft spot for Vesta's longsword, because back in RS2, I loved the way the Vesta's longsword looked, and I've always wanted to use this item for Fashionscape. So I want this in OSRS just so I can buy one for Fashionscape. I have no intention of actually using it. And this is probably the dumbest way to vote ever, but I want the item just because it looks cool. I know that for Dagon'Hai robes, a lot of people are just going to be voting for this because of RSC nostalgia. Well, that's going to be me for Vesta's Longsword. Unless there's like something about it that's like completely fucked balanced wise. That like I die to it every time it's in the wilderness or something. Then I might vote no to it. But Vesta's Longsword looks really cool. So I'm thinking to vote yes for it. Zuriel's staff. I actually know absolutely nothing about Zuriel's staff because who gives a shit about magic, am I right? But I'll get up a link for what Zuriel's staff actually does in a second. Morgan's throwing axes. Those are just dragon throwing axes, right? I'd probably vote no to like that. And Morgan's javelins just because I don't see the point. Like they don't look cool, and I can only see myself ever dying to them. Even though they technically fall under the same category as Vesta's Longsword, where like I don't think anyone will actually be using them against like random PVM, well, maybe PVMers in the road, but not like skillers and stuff where people doing clues. So throwing axes and javelins, I don't really see the merit of having in the game. I'll vote no to those. But Zuriel's staff, what does it do? Oh, it just like adds. Oh, it buffs ancient magics. No, fuck no then. That's actually good. I don't know if people are going to be using them against me, but it sounds cancerous as fuck to have like Ice Barrage just hit 10. It's not going to be 10% more because it's 10% more accuracy, so it doesn't mean it hits 10% more. But no, that's awful. I mean, no, the weapon's good, but that's why I don't want it in the game because it's good. I'm just biased because it's like Vesta's Longsword. I want it in the game so much. Like even the risk of me dying to it isn't enough to deter me from like the potential fashionscape options. Corrupt Dragons. Are these free to play? I don't understand. In RS2, they were free to play, right? No. These are members only. What? I don't get it. Members only, same stats as Dragon Battle Axe, requires 60 attack to use. Am I missing something? What's the point? Huh? So, I'm reading this. It says they would be available in free to play, but then it says they're members only? What's going on? Huh? Oh, wait, no. I think I understand it. They mean like, wait, is Bounty Hunter on free to play worlds? Do they mean like you can only members can get them? I'm not really sure what it means. I mean, I don't really know what it means. I'll probably skip the question, but well, that's an awkward way to end this video. I hope Vesta's Longsword passes. Dagon'Hai, I hope it passes if they get like a decent drop rate on them so it doesn't devalue RMs. But a lot of really cool content here. Sorry for the awkward way to end the video. I'm just like thrown off by this really weird wording. I'm not really understanding what's going on with this wording. So I just got thrown off. I'm sorry about that. It's really unprofessional. But thank you for bearing with me and watching the video.